Señoras y señores, por favor, den la bienvenida a los arqueros. Al campo, Luis Alberto Villegas, que van a disputar la medalla de bronce en el arco compuesto masculino. En la paca número 1 y representando a Colombia, Jagdeep singh. En la paca número 2 y representando también a Colombia, Sebastián Arenas. La juez del partido, Talia Rojano.
So here we go, compound men's bronze medal match. Jagdeep Singh of Colombia, who shot a 7.02 to rank 5th through the ranking round, up against his teammate, Sebastián Arenas, also of Colombia, who shot a 7.07 to be ranked 2nd after the ranking round. Some big scores put down in the ranking round. Now it's time to start our bronze medal match with end number 1. Well, he waited for some time, Sebastián Arenas, but put down a 10. Let's see what Jagdeep Singh can start his bronze medal match with.
Yes.
So the timing of these archers is going to be really interesting through this match. If Jagdeep Singh can keep this timing up quick and put the pressure back on Sebastián, who's taken a lot of time, he's not going to have much recovery.
Going to the wire on all 3 of his first end arrows, but coming away with a perfect 30. Can't start better than that. Well, called a 9, subject to a measure. Difficult for us to confirm from here whether that's a 9 or a 10, but whatever the case, Sebastián Arenas has shot a perfect in the first end. What does that do for your confidence, Nikki?
Oh yeah, it's going to give you a fantastic mental approach, I think, going forward. So, it doesn't get better than that to open up in this medal match with a 30. He's going to be really confident. He's just got to stick with it, do the same thing again.
Well, we got confirmation of the 3 10s. We just got to find out whether Singh has started with a 28 or a 29. While they're doing the measure here, we're getting a look back at Singh. Now, we know that Jagdeep Singh will be shooting first here. We just don't know whether he trails by 1 or 2 points, but it's time for end number 2. Well, that's all 10s so far for Singh. Sorry, for Arenas. Singh hitting the 10 with his first arrow.
Arenas has just got a very slow setup as knees, coming up to full draw, sighting at about 10 seconds to go and using quite a lot of time, but fairly consistent each arrow.
So a 29 for Singh, and I can confirm that he got a 28 in the first end. Longest of the lot, but it's another perfect 30 from Sebastian Arenas of Colombia, who now leads by 3 points, 60 points to 57 after 2 ends. Tremendous start for Arenas, but it's a very nervy process he goes through. Nikki, at what point is Arenas going to start to panic? Because clearly he's used to the count coming down to 4 or 5 perhaps. If it gets to 3 or 2, will we see some flinching?
I mean, he'll probably be fairly confident what he's doing, because this is normal for him. He would have practiced this with his coach probably, with the coach counting him down, so it'd be quite normal. Quite often he's shot in like 6 seconds, with one a little quick and one a little slow on that end. But he'll be pretty confident. If he gets to, like 2 seconds, then maybe he'll have to actively kind of squeeze to make that shot happen. But so far, he's been really consistent.
Well, he's been in the middle so far. 6 10s for Sebastian Arenas, whereas we go into end number 3. It's been 9s and 10s for Jagdeep Singh. Colombian up against his teammate, but trails by 3. That's a great start to the third end. That's all he can do to put a little bit of pressure on his opponent for the bronze medal here.
So when your opponent shoots a fast shot like that, it doesn't give you a lot of recovery when you're spending 10 seconds at full draw. So, you've really got to have that endurance to get through these shots. Ooh. Wasn't happy with that.
No, it was the first one as well into the 9s. And perhaps that pressure you were talking about has paid dividends. A perfect 30 as well for Singh. His first of the match. He will claw back at least 1 point here. Back in the 10, so it was a recovery by a single point for Jagdeep Singh. Nikki, you talked about the pressure that Singh can apply, and it does seem that you're absolutely spot on. He's trying to get those arrows out as quickly as he can.
Yeah, I mean, when your opponent's taking that 10 seconds at full draw, if you shoot quickly, they really haven't got that recovery time. So over 3 arrows, that kind of lactic acid is building up in your arms. These guys, the maximum they can draw is 60 pounds. So, it's quite a lot of draw weight, and they've got added weight on the bows as well that are holding at full draw. So you really can feel the blood, disappearing in your arms.
Yeah, interesting to add to that we've had sort of 15 months up until very recently without proper international competition, which comes with its own added burdens. So perhaps that lactic acid builds up even quicker. But he's doing the right thing from behind. Jagdeep Singh has closed the gap to just 2 points, but will shoot first in end number 4. So Singh, having fallen behind early on, is starting a process of the comeback. Wasn't happy with that one. Gets away with a 9.
Yeah, that first shot might have been a bit too quick, so let's see if he can settle again. Maybe on the line.
3 9s for Singh wasn't what he needed after starting his revival in the third. He's only scored a 27 here, and it's another potential 30 for Arenas. Gone up into the 9, but a 29 is enough to get him another 2 points into the lead. Brilliant performance. When there was a little bit of pressure being applied by Singh, Arenas comes out with his second 29 in a row. Nikki, a lot of work to do for Singh in the 5th and final end if he's going to get back into this match.
Yeah, that's a real shame. I mean, his arrows weren't far out, were they? And the second and third arrow hit each other, so he's not far out. He's just going to go back to the process, try and get those shots in the middle as he can. But he's done a good job. There's nothing crazy going on here. He's just unlucky, I think.
Oh, the conditions look pretty good out there. They are just going to go and measure that second arrow of Jagdeep Singh. As Nikki mentioned, that could have been on the line, but with the target so battered by the end of the 4th end, that measure may take a little bit of time. Looks like they have decided on it, so we've got a 118 on the provisional scoreboard for Sebastian Arenas. Very solid, but there's the grimace from Jagdeep Singh. So 114, Jagdeep Singh trails his teammate and opponent for this bronze medal match, Sebastian Arenas, who shoot first in the final end. Again, another grimace from him, and it's dropping down into the 9s.
That was better. That first shot just looked like he'd lost some power through the shot and again dropped low, but managed to bring it back on that second shot.
Yes. So 143 maximum possible here with a 10, so finishes with a 142 with that 9. Just 5 shy. Sebastian Arenas hasn't come outside the 9 so far. And he puts it into the 9 to finish with a 28, which was more than enough to take bronze here. 146 to 142 for Sebastian Arenas. The Colombian beat his teammate Jagdeep Singh in the Medellin World Ranking event here. So bronze for Sebastian Arenas in the first of our compound men's medal matches. Nikki, you talked about endurance and the fact that Arenas' process, because it's so long and because he's at full draw for such a long time, he could suffer. But actually, it looked a bit like it was on the other side of the shooting line. Jagdeep Singh losing a bit of his endurance.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the shots were quick, weren't they, from Singh? But I wonder if he's just losing a bit of the balance, a bit of the power, dropping low and fall there. But, Arenas just shot really solidly, didn't he, throughout, and really good timing throughout. He kept that nice timing all the way through, and that's really important.
Yeah, well, he was making me feel nervous with the length of time he was at full draw, but it works for him. He's got the bronze medal here at the City of Medellin World Ranking event. As we take a little look back at some of those shots, and I've got to say, Jagdeep Singh didn't shoot badly. 9s and 10s throughout, but it wasn't quite enough when he was up against informed Sebastian Arenas in this bronze medal match.